I'll take it. I'll take it. Yeah. I can go with this speed. This is something little sweet. Something I had on my mind. See, this song is called Man. I downloaded it from YouTube land. It's totally free. Copyrights, captions, no needs. Dash YT. That's what this file name will be. Man-YT.mp3. Oh man. Now I know why people don't have podcasts. Now I know why there aren't that many podcasts out there. Literally I've done nothing, but it just feels like there's so much shit flying around in my head, it's kind of hard to organize. Whatever, I'm just kind of complaining and bitching. No need to dwell. No need to swell this negativity. We can just lead, leave, and be. Live lives more happily. $10 Walmart wine. Sweet red got me feeling fine. Big old jug of Carlo Rossi. Sling it over your shoulder. Pinky in the holder. I don't even know what I'm saying. This is podcast number 7. We had a great time. We were just chilling with the Lunchbox FPV crew. Now, if you don't know what Lunchbox FPV is, it's a small, portable, tiny little package, and it's got a screen, a diversity receiver, even video out, so you can just plug in your fat sharks from there. It's pretty sweet. Check it out, Lunchbox on Facebook. Here's podcast 7. Cheers.
What up, Bryce?
How's it going, Bryce? Welcome to the table.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Bryce has joined the party.
And on that
12-year-old Cuban boy.
and on that wonderful, wonderful note, let's go ahead and get this party started. Now, what day is it today, guys?
Today is the 18th.
It is the 18th.
Yeah.
It's the 18th, the day after St. Patrick's Day.
It is the 18th. It is the day after St.
Yep.
Patrick's Day, known as National Hangover Day, known as
Oh.
National Puke Your Green Corned Beef and Potato Guts Day. And we're here for another episode of the After Dark FPV podcast. Now, I guess starting on that note, things have been a little bit hectic for the past 2 weeks.
Yes.
You know, we've had ambitions to grow bigger. We've had ambitions. We've got sights on adding audio and visual, and a lot of goals as far as like growing bigger and making an even better show. But trying to do these things and trying to include, other people. Like I mentioned before, we had twin quad frames trying to come into the show,
Right.
but they had some scheduling errors coming
Yep.
in. And we tried to improv and do a build podcast, and that thing didn't really work out. And we pretty much had a week in the toilet as far as like our organizational skills
Yeah.
and as far as like what we had going on. But it really kind of showed the light as far as what holes we have in our ship and what we need to fix on going forward. And it's like I think it's really kind of like a growing experience. And but moving forward from that, growing forward from that, I think we always like to have one positive thing, and we always like to have one thing that we like to lock down, and that is in-person interaction. That's what we like to do every night here on Sunday evenings at this Devry Fly nights that we do. And we have some very, very special in-person people here.
Yeah, we
have
do.
A veteran in the industry, if you know it or not, Mr. Jason, I don't know, I can't say the last name.
Manella.
Jason Manella, you might know him as
Manella.
Lunchbox FPV.
Yep.
He is the inventor of the FPV Lunchbox, the all-in-one kit that has a ground station, screen, video in, video out. You can have diversity.
Yeah, diversity.
Diversity in the receiver, in a little
Diversity?
kit.
Yeah.
You can charge your 1S
Dude, we'll
tiny
bust
loop
it out.
lipos. And it's an all-in-one kit to get started as far as like FPV and drone getting started off.
Yeah.
And we have Lunchbox FPV here.
Yeah.
Let's all welcome him.
Yeah, hello.
Thank you guys so much for having me. This is awesome.
Dude, so I guess let's go ahead and have a little introduction with the whole Lunchbox FPV crew.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean,
Everyone should say hello.
It is a big party that you guys brought in over
Yeah.
here. So let's.
We rolled in an RV, right?
That's
Yeah,
right.
we literally.
All right,
an RV
so
full
we
of crew.
got the lunch lady over here.
What's up, guys?
See, look, Nick's in a good mood now.
We got
Look at
Mr.
this.
Bryce Darling over here.
What's up?
Yeah, hey Bryce.
And we got Platinum FPV flying the drone in the background. So what's up?
Platinum, say hello.
There you go. The drone is speaking for him.
Oh man! All right, so I guess let's just.
Wait, did Lorena say hi?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
I'll say hi again. What's
Yeah, thank you. She's such a sweetheart. Seriously. I get more like "you are a lovely human" text from her than I do anyone in the world. By the way. I barely know her, and she's like, "You are a lovely human. You are loved by all." Oh,
She's the
Lorena.
best, honestly. She's
Seriously.
my biggest supporter.
No,
so
for real.
She is my biggest supporter, and
Dude,
I love her the most.
She owns all of the heart emojis, I think, in the world.
I think she's patented them by now.
I think so too.
I-
She literally is a
I think she
stockholder.
secretly has like a fortune in her bank
that's
account
why. She
from
gets
all
1
that
cent
stuff.
for every heart
1
emoji.
cent every
that's
heart
being
emoji.
used,
That's
right?
what
That's why
is.
she sends them out, you know.
Dude,
That's
I
why you
get,
live stream and then you get
I
punched
get
the
like
hearts
10
in,
a
right?
day, I think, from her.
Yeah, honestly.
Oh.
So-
Good.
Well, that's it.
I need to get
That's
her a
it.
new cell phone,
Yeah.
man.
Let's
so she can
all get up
those
to speed
texts.
as far as like the runnings on, and you guys have been power looping America. You guys have been on your world tour. You guys are drumming up heat for the Lunchbox. You guys have just met your Kickstarter goal in less than 24 hours. What's been going on in the past couple days, man? It's been a little bit hectic, huh?
Yeah, I mean, in the last couple of days, well, basically we had transmission failures, and that caused a lot of problems. And we kind of got stuck in Vegas, which is not a horrible place to get stuck in. To be honest with you, it was kind of fun to get stuck there for a couple of days. I mean, there's endless places to fly, and endless places to go. Anyways, so we got stuck there for a couple of days waiting for the transmission to be replaced. And right after that, while we were there, I met Robbie. Right?
Yep.
I met Robbie and at XDC at the Clash of Drones. And we got chatting a little bit, and he was like, "Hey, do you want to come fly out here? Do you want to come hang out with some guys in Riverside, Cali?" And basically we headed out right away. Right after, once we got our truck back, basically that same night, we basically packed up and headed out to Riverside. So for the last couple of days, we've been hanging out with you guys, actually, which has been really awesome.
Grayson, let's not lie. It turned into an epic 2-day party at Robbie's mom's house.
Yeah, that is true.
My mom is quite the partier.
Oh, she was awesome.
She's like, "What wine do you want? Let's bust it out right now."
I know. Even last night, she's like, "Do you guys want to go to a bar for St. Patrick's Day?"
Dang,
She's
my
like,
mom.
"Yeah." She's like, "Let's go drink some green beer."
Yeah, my mom's down.
Yeah. So that was. So yeah, we've been hanging out with you guys. We got to rip the mountains.
Yeah.
Yeah. There was.
Yeah,
there
let's
was a
talk
little
about
bit of a
that.
story about
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, we can talk about that.
You
Yeah,
had to recover it.
I had the
Yeah.
longest walk of shame.
We really extended that walk of shame by just doing like the worst walk across a mountain you could do. So
It was pretty bad. Well, I mean,
was
first
fun.
of all, I have to say thanks to Jason because he woke up much earlier than I did, and he did like an additional 30 minutes of hiking in the opposite mountain direction.
Yeah, that
and
was a
then he
mistake.
realized he was going the wrong way.
yeah, that was a mistake.
Yeah.
I passed like some caution tape at one point with a hole, and I'm like, I don't remember that being there yesterday.
man.
Maybe it happened last night, so I kept walking for a while, and then I never got to the bridge, so I eventually turned
that's
around.
what it was. You didn't even get to the start point then.
No, I didn't. I split right off at the
Yeah,
start.
so Nick, you've seen our mountains by my parents' house. They're
Yeah.
pretty freaking vast and tall.
And you lost yours up there?
He lost his drone
That's right, it was-
halfway up the mountains. It's,
Yeah,
it's up there.
It was
Are-
like
are
it
you
was
on-
looking at an
are you on
incredible
Crossfire?
sunset. No, I am not on Crossfire. I'm not
he was,
even
thought
on.
he
he was
was,
following.
though.
He was trying to follow the crossfire.
I learned the brutal difference between Crossfire and Free Sky,
XM Plus.
like the hard way on the mountainside. I mean, it was like a beautiful, beautiful sunset, golden hour. I mean, like literally, like there were some bits of the GoPro footage where you just turn back and you're just like, you know, those moments. That's when
Yeah.
you got like really, really good footage, and I knew it was good. I was started going up, and then at some point I just pussied out. I went halfway. I was like, I'm coming back. I'm scared. And then I turned back, and I could see our vantage spot from line of sight. So I figured, okay, well, I see Jason, and I see him just creeping along the edge of the ridge. I'll just do the same thing, right?
Yeah.
Because if I get a little bit of static, I'll just punch it up. I'll pop out, and then yeah. So I started doing that, and I get a little bit of static as I sort of cross over to the far edge, but it's like 2 ridges over, and I see the static, and nothing. That thing just failed safe right quick. There was no connection as soon as I got under that.
I think it was because like when you're coming down a mountain, you don't realize how fast you're coming down the ridges, and at that point, I think when we walked over, we were like 3 ridges over, right?
Oh yeah.
So like at that point, it was just so far out. I mean, even when I was trying to fly later on, I was blacking out.
Oh really?
Remember when I was diving the rocks and I went to the bottom, I was getting like crazy double screening, and I mean there was what was there, the Santiago antenna on the top blasting us out?
Yes,
so on
right.
channel 8 and 1, but so today walking, I actually saw there's like 15 antennas up there. So
yeah,
really?
No,
oh yeah.
So
I was walking, I was looking at Platinum, I was like, I think that's why we're getting a lot of weird signal up there. There's like 15 of them.
Yeah, that's
so there could be a Santiago, there could be a John, there could be who knows who else is up there.
I think honestly, that's all of the monitors for all the antennas that are up there.
Yeah.
Because there's like 15 antennas for the top of the mountain. So, yeah.
So I think that was definitely was not helping our video signal.
Yeah, I think so.
Because I was having some really weird signal where I was telling you, like, if I walked back 3 steps and pointed my head that way, I have crystal clear video. But if I walk towards the edge where you should have better video, and then my patch was picking up the antennas on the top.
That's the whole thing. I was like, that was an education experience for me. Like just learning about the bounce.
Yeah.
And the bounce of the waves has like a huge effect as well too.
Oh,
when you get in the signal. That's deep nerd talk right there.
Yeah, that is.
It's deep nerd talk.
I
don't know if we're gonna get
I
into
wasn't
that.
paying attention. We're talking about waves right now.
Yeah, we're talking about waves now.
Right, too far.
Those waves are
Reel it back
bouncing,
in.
bro.
Reel it back in. So
Anyways.
we went on this epic hike, and the funny part about it was that when we actually found the drone and went down the mountain, we realized that there was like a path directly to that ridge that would have probably taken like 10 minutes to find the drone, or 15 minutes max, going up and down. And we just did this like 45-minute hike going like horizontally across the mountain.
Well,
so
hindsight is always 20/20.
Yeah, it was definitely a lot of fun either way.
Yeah.
It was a real quad retrieval adventure.
Yeah, the whole week has been wild. I think this actually started since Monday.
Monday, yeah.
So Monday, I hung out with you guys when you're at one campground.
Yeah.
Then that was Costco day. Then the next day was the next campground, and then the next day was my parents' house, parents' house, and then I think we're here one more night, and then parents' house. So yeah, but it's been wild.
It's been wild. We got to hit up that mission. That was like some of the best tiny whooping I've ever done in the wild. That was awesome.
Yeah,
that was so fun.
Yeah, I was like, Nick would love it.
Right?
Down in that
I think it was just protected, and the video was just bouncing out. It was probably this perfect tube of just video coming at you.
Yeah, getting right to the bottom. No, even like RF signal, everything. TX, like
it was
RX,
perfect.
I guess to give a little bit of a background, we had a secret
spot.
mission, a secret mission down to the mission in Riverside, and it's this really, really ornate and beautifully built, I guess, church.
No,
church,
it's
hotel.
Well, it looks like a church, but it's a hotel. It's like a
real ornately built hotel, and it's like built from a really, really long time ago. And it's got some really fancy structures. Oh, Platinum, I guess, has crashed his quad.
Derek, where was it?
Platinum does not walk that much.
You want a skateboard, bro?
I
have a skateboard in the back of my.
We'll
take the electric board out today and we'll chase it.
Oh, dude, I want to ride that.
Yeah, I charged it all up in your garage.
Oh, dude, I want to ride it.
I got it ready for us.
He's got long sleeves. He'll be all right.
Yeah. I just want.
Are you planning on eating shit tonight?
Yeah.
No, I just like. I always want. No, my roommate Jake. I was telling him that you had an electric board, and I was like, dude, I really want to ride one of those, just for like scooting around.
Oh, they're the best.
So, I used to have like
I got
a
ideas. I got ideas.
Yeah. You want to chase us?
Yeah.
You want to chase?
Oh.
Dude, how about we chase you?
Yeah, for sure.
All right.
It's
Here's
got
the
an
plan,
LED
Rob.
on it too, so like it
You
brights
put
up
on the goggles.
Yeah.
You get on the skateboard.
Oh no,
You fly and you skate.
I will definitely not do that. I'm not gonna lie.
fly
I've
with your
broken
weight.
my rib on this thing, but it wasn't the first 3 days that I owned it. I
Were you
didn't
getting
realize
extreme
broke a
with
rib?
it?
I didn't realize the power of this thing because I was like, oh, it's an electric board, whatever.
Yeah.
And I didn't realize like speed 4 just like unlocks. There's like basically notches of speed 1, 2, 3, and it keeps you at that speed. like even if you're going down a hill, it like brakes for you.
Oh.
So it's just really awesome.
Yeah.
Like if you're riding in the city, you can
Right.
go down a hill and like actually auto brakes for you.
Got you.
But Speed 4 takes off the brake and just
Oh,
lets the motors go to the as fast as it can carry your body. And I didn't know that. And I hit Speed 4, and when I looked down, it was like going like 48 kilometers an hour.
Man.
Which is what, like
That's
30.
that's too fast.
40
That's
miles
too
or
fast
something.
to be on a board
That's-
just
and
hovering the ground.
I did not have this thing locked in, so I got like the speed wobbles, and like next thing I know, I look up, there's a curb, and I was like, well, I gotta turn really fast, and I turned, and the wobbles just took me like right out, and yeah, definitely
rough.
broke a rib on that one.
Oof.
So
Oof. The wobbles suck,
Oh,
and
yeah.
it's not graceful either.
no, it's
It's
definitely
not graceful.
graceful.
Yeah, it's not a graceful fall. Were you wearing a helmet?
No, no, I was not.
No.
I was
Yeah, the
I was surfing around on it. I didn't think it was dangerous at that point. I'm like,
Yeah.
it's a skateboard, whatever.
Yeah.
I am not in a park. Like, I'm not gonna do it. I'm not gonna do like a kickflip and like knock my head on a bar. So I was like, I'm just gonna ride it down the street. I was just testing the speeds, and I was like, oh, 3's like intense, and I'm like, I wonder what 4 is, and it just like unlocked and just like, whew. Like, I don't know, you picked up speed. Like, these are two 500-watt motors on the back, so I mean, it's instant torque on the back.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So it bucks
100%
you.
torque.
It bucks
yeah,
you
you're
like a horse. It bucks you.
And that's what you want tonight, Robbie, right?
Yeah. No, I just want
Right?
to try it.
Oh yeah, speed 1's
Speed
8
1, speed
kilometers.
2.
It's like 5 miles.
That's
So
good,
you,
yeah,
sta-
I'm gonna
you
do
can
speed
literally
1, speed
walk
2.
off of
Oh.
it. You can walk off of
max,
it on
Robbie. Go for
every
the
every
max.
person I put on speed 1 is like, oh, I'll try in speed 1, and then like immediately like, okay, speed 2 now.
Yeah, that's
because
probably
speed
what's
1
gonna
is like
happen.
walking speed. So like you could literally just like
the
jump
hover
off the board.
round mode.
Speed 2, speed 2 and speed
Hover
3, you can
round.
still jump off and run, which is what I like.
okay.
about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
It's
worst case
normal then.
scenario,
So
you
we're
can
saying
just
you
do-
could all bail out and you could do a little
Yeah.
ditch walk.
Yeah.
All right, I'm
All right.
okay with that.
All right, looks like we're gonna be chasing Robbie tonight.
No.
Oh,
We're
yeah.
chasing Jason. No.
Come on, Robbie.
Oh, or Derek.
He volunteers as
Yeah.
tribute.
Well, what
Yeah.
you do is you lie down on it like Superman, and then you go down
Luge
the
it?
street on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Lose that shape. Like.
Code Red did that. I was with him in Tampa, and what he would do is lie down on it backwards with his hand behind his legs and like cross his legs in the front,
Yep.
and he'd pass bikers with it.
Like,
So they would look over, and it looked
Arrow
like he
as
was
hell.
just floating down the street, like because you wouldn't see the board when you're lying on it at all. So he just looks like he's floating by, and you just see the biker's face, like, what the hell is this guy? Like, looked like he was on a hoverboard, literally, like just like hovering
Nice.
across. It was
Nice.
hilarious.
witchcraft.
Oh man.
Crazy.
Yeah.
So.
Well, with the rest of our group, I mean, Nick has been rearranging his location, rearranging
Yep.
his house, changing
We're getting
things
it all
around.
squared away.
Yeah.
Things have been hectic.
So I've been out of the loop a little, but I'm here now.
Yeah. No. Yeah.
I've been
no.
following on Instagram. I've
Good,
seen-
okay.
Been
I-
following the stories?
Yeah, I know where you guys have been.
Dude, all over the place,
Yeah,
though, right?
all over.
Literally, like every day is a different spot.
Oh, that was
So-
awesome. The train flying you did too. That was
Yeah.
like such sick footage.
Did you go in the car?
No.
Is it in there?
No.
Run
No.
it
No.
up?
No.
No? Okay.
I just flew.
Then
Well,
you guys,
I honestly.
then you guys flew
maybe
with
not that
drifting cars. Let's talk about
Yes.
that for a second. That was really. I got to see like some, I guess like undercover footage that you haven't posted yet, and that was really awesome.
No. He posted it on
That's,
After Dark
uh,
FPV.
yeah.
Oh, you
It's
posted
like,
it. Okay, that you posted
Insta.
today then maybe.
Yeah, it was
Yeah,
today.
Okay, so all right. I was flying the Western world today, so I was not
Yes,
near
this
a
was-
computer or anything.
It's understandable.
I was full.
understandable,
Like I think I burned like 60 watt batteries.
Yeah?
Today. Oh yeah, we went through like the whole bag.
No,
oh,
for
we went
reals.
like to the empty. We emptied the bag.
So you're
so-
rocking the empty
Oh
ones.
yeah.
then. Yeah, when we were flying Mission Inn, he brought like a freaking freezer bag full of whoop batteries. I was like, Shh. He's like, go. And I was like, okay.
You go. I mean, that's how much. I figured like 50 batteries is about what you want when you go out, because they're like 5 minutes each, and if you're a bunch of people,
Yeah. Oh yeah.
you'll go through them really fast, right?
Oh
It's
yeah.
true. It's true. You just
I
hot
think I
swap
ate
them
up,
when
And
it
like,
comes
and
down
like
to
the
it.
way I always look at it, I'm like, if I'm gonna pay like $60 for a really good like 4S battery, I could buy a lot of tiny watt batteries for that price. So
Yeah.
Definitely.
so it kind of evens out, you know. It kind of
Yeah.
evens out.
I bought a bunch of tiny whip batteries when they were like 50 cents for 5 of them. Well, I didn't buy enough, but there was a crazy sale when they were liquidating them. They had
get
the
rid of
small connectors though.
Oh, okay, that's why. Yeah, they're just
And-
like, we're getting rid of these connectors.
They were getting rid of them. I ended up taking them apart and actually reconnecting them, but it takes a long time.
Yeah.
So the 10 cents a battery eventually works itself out. You know, my $50 an hour normal wage. Could have just bought some new batteries probably.
That was
True.
honestly. Also today we did some tag. So or
you-
hide and seek. Actually.
Oh, hide and seek with the
did you
whoops.
see that?
the
Did you
I
see
didn't
hide and
see
seek?
that.
So we had Derek go run out, and then Loretta, lunch lady, and I had to go find Derek in the western town.
Oh, that's cool with the
and,
whoops.
and he would go,
was like,
and he would always go sit with like a dummy somewhere.
Oh, he's all.
So there's like all like the dummies in there,
pass
and
by.
he just goes sitting there, and he'd just be sitting beside one of them. Just like posing with them, you know, like doing
And
something.
we should have switched hats.
true.
With the helmet
Yeah,
on
you
me
should have
and
done
just sat
that.
there with the Western hat, like,
If you're flying by, you can't really tell when you're
no,
like,
it's probably a
on the
little
move.
rough.
At one point, he came out of the saloon. He's like, "Man, I need to get out of there. I'm getting freaked out soon with all these dummies. They're not talking to me, but they're staring at me."
Quite creaking.
Oh, man.
I'm not gonna lie, at one point, I kicked its leg and it started moving and it freaked me the F out.
Realistic.
You have to get used to the dummies, honestly. Dude,
I can't even do a wax museum, so
dude,
that
what,
was
so
big for me.
imagine this. I literally, when I take out trash, I walk by all of them in the middle of the night sometimes. And they're all just like,
staring at you.
yeah, you know.
I named everybody in the garage.
You were telling me about that.
Susan.
Oh, Susan's the lady that stands with the umbrella, right?
Yeah,
You
right
would,
beside
yeah.
the royal.
Looks like a Susan.
Yeah, I can see that. And then Jose, obviously the really dark Mexican guy, right? Yep, with the mustache. Yep, and the flannel. Yep.
Yeah,
Of course.
that was
I didn't get
awesome.
around to naming all of them.
There's too many. There's probably like 16, I think.
Each
who
one
knows?
has a backstory.
I'm sure each one does have a backstory.
Probably. Well, they all came from Knott's Berry Farm. That's their backstory. So.
Yeah.
Oh, they definitely got some history.
Oh, I'm sure they do.
Definitely.
I'm
Oh,
sure
yeah.
some weird shit has happened to
Yeah.
them.
Yeah, that was awesome.
So,
yeah.
yeah. But yeah, you want me to go over the drifting a bit?
It's true. It's true. We've had
Yeah, let's
some
go
fun.
over the
We've had
drifting.
some
Yeah,
fun.
talk to me
Yeah.
about the drifting. We missed
So-
out on the drifting.
Yeah, so here's how the drifting event works. Gosh, I want to say 2006. I used to be hardcore into drifting.
Yeah.
I had like motor swaps cars and all kinds of crazy shit. I still have a bunch of friends that still do drifting, except for they like actually did it right. Like they made a business out of it.
Yeah.
So they've got a whole garage and they do like badass rotary cars and all kinds of stuff. I was in contact with them and they were telling me like, oh, you know, we're doing drifting events. And I went and saw Snake FPV's badass drift video. And I was like, oh man, I really want to do that. And I just, you know, one Facebook message later, and I got an invite to the Just Drift event at Willow Springs, which is like North Lancaster. It's a ways. It was 2 hours.
It's a little drive.
It's about 2 hours away,
Yep.
right?
About
About 2 hours away.
Yep.
So it's a drive. And Phil, we actually left a little bit earlier. I was trying to get everyone to go, but it didn't kind of work out. But it almost would have been bummer because when we got there, I just flew up a pack, and it was kind of one of those things. The guy that was my friend was like, "Oh, you should probably call ahead, talk to the track, and see what they say about drones." And I was like, "Well, there's one of two things. If I see what they say, they're probably going to tell me no. So maybe we should just go and try and just see what happens."
Ask for forgiveness.
Yeah, exactly. So I did that, and sure enough, about 30 seconds into
Right
a
quick.
pack, I literally got like a grab on
Bring
the
the drone
shoulder.
down. Bring the drone down.
He was like, "Bring the drone down." And I was like, "Oh, no." And so I brought the drone down, and then I was like, "Hey, this is what we're doing." And he's like, "I understand, but you need to like talk
Looking
to
back
the..."
on the footage, you were diving the paddock area.
I was just popping up above the pits. There was people underneath me. Yeah. But,
Robbie,
you know.
Robbie.
Yeah, I was being a little wild, okay.
Ruining the hobby.
Hashtag ruining the hobby.
Hashtag ruining the hobby.
No, I was just... anyways,
I was just
anyways, I was being as safe as I could. But, so basically we went to the front desk, talked to them. A little, you know, this and that information was exchanged. And sure enough, I went back, and the guy in charge, I said, "Hey, we talked to this guy. He said it's okay." And sure enough, we're a drone-insured company. Yeah. No, we're not.
A drone insured company had emailed them about
filming, but that was not us.
Oh.
Yeah. So we were them. So when we went back, we're like,
with the
yeah.
drone filming company, right? Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure you are with them.
Yeah, and so
I saw your
basically,
card.
yeah, and so they were pretty skeptical at first, and after we flew our first pack together, honestly, the crowd literally was like, "Whoa!" when we passed by,
It
and
was kinda
sure
nuts.
enough, Phil's girlfriend had his FPV watch, and she showed it around to the guys that were like a pain in the butt. And they were like, "Wait, this is going on right now?" And they're like, "Yeah." And then all of a sudden, they were like, "This is sick." And then after that, we came back, and everyone was like, "Oh, this is awesome." They all felt like everyone was like on a different level. They're like, "Oh, drones are covering our event now. It's like pro status."
That's what happens with everyone when they see drones for the first time.
Yeah.
I told you guys last week I talked to that dude that does downhill mountain bikes.
Yes.
And he's like, I know guys that'll pay you to like come out here and film us.
Yeah.
So
Oh yeah.
You let me know when that happens.
Yeah.
It's because everyone
gonna
like thinks
happen.
they're like DJIs or like gimbals just
Yep.
floating there, kind of like
Oh,
spying
lame.
on you in
Yeah.
a little
You
sense.
You can get
being all creepy
crazy
in the
better
corner,
shots
just
with
hovering,
these.
barely making
Creeper
noise.
drones.
Creeper
But
drones.
then when they see these racer drones and they're like ripping, making noise, and they're whining and flipping and turning
yeah.
and just like so acrobatic in the sky that it looks so cool to watch, right?
Yeah.
It's just
Yeah.
like this little black dot just kind of like, whee, it's flying all over the place. I think people just look at that and then immediately are like, wait, this
It's
is
a
not.
spectator thing.
Yeah, it's a spectator.
You know,
thing.
honestly, it was kind of nuts because like I had some a pretty good set of lights on the quad,
Yes.
and the crowd like they were cheering and whooping
They
it
cheered.
up, and
They cheered for freaking
like
Phil's
you could
quad.
tell, like
Oh, yeah.
first
Yeah.
of all, they're all out there. It takes a certain type of person to get out there and spectate
Yeah.
a drift event.
A lot
You
of,
have
like,
to be
family and
related
friends.
or absolutely nuts about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they know the actual drift line, so they can kind of tell when a drone is getting kind of locked on. And so
Yeah.
when they see like a drone just locked onto the
They'll,
shoulder
like,
of the
did the
car,
drift line
they're
with
doing,
it.
they're actually like
Yeah.
getting into it, like
Yeah. Oh,
moving
yeah.
it up.
And like Phil's squad, so there was actually a time we were going up at the same time, and then I think eventually I ran a long pack, and then I came back and Phil was still up. So I actually had a time where my goggles were off and I was watching Phil's squad, and he's got all that rope light wrapped around his arms, and it's bright. And there was one time where he came around, and all the smoke is like lit up by his lights,
Oh, yeah.
and he's like in the smoke because it was like overcast. It was like really rough weather. It was like on and off, about to rain the whole time.
Yeah.
And like I was like, dude, your quad looks sick right now. I feel like in person, dude, your lights, and you're like, what?
Oh,
And
yeah.
so
Were you rocking 5S?
he was rocking
That
five.
was
Dude, you
5S,
know
yeah.
he's rocking 5S. Like
That was
he-
5S,
yeah.
he was ripping.
Yeah, I was ripping it.
Like, yeah, it was a bummer. It was a bummer. We started at the very beginning. just
Powered by
filming.
Jim Fan, Wind Dancers.
Yeah, just filming one car. We're like, oh, we're here for a buddy's car, and his car broke down. And then eventually we're seeing cars go up to wait for the paddock to fly, and I just walk up to them. I'm like, yo, bro, we're doing drone filming. Is it okay if we film your car? And they're like, yeah, of course. And then I was like, Phil, fuck it. Let's just film all the cars. Like we were waiting for one car, and
Yeah.
and eventually they're like, oh, we're shutting down in an hour. And I'm like, dude, we only got like 2
Yep.
packs in. So finally we're like, we're just going to start flying other people's cars because
And then it
originally we were
started
asking
raining.
permission.
Yeah.
Because we didn't want to fly and have something happen or whatever. So eventually we're just like, oh, hopefully we'll be okay. And then we started flying their cars, and then they would come back and they're like, dude, this is sick. And then there was guys that were taking pro footage for certain cars, and they're like, hey, can you please film drone our car? And they were like, oh. And people were like really, like they were into it. It wasn't like, hey, can we do you? They were like, please film us.
Yeah, it's because they're probably used to like the video drones and they can't keep up with your
Yeah.
car. So they'll get like an overview and
Just
like the
lame,
car
that's
spinning
it.
around, but you're not in the
Yeah.
smoke. You're not
No,
you
it
know, on
was
the
not
side
the
of the
same.
mirror. You know what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah.
Like you get nice and close with the
Yeah.
racing drones.
Yeah,
and cars.
one of my footage, I'm like locked in. There's one where Phil's behind me, and I'm like super close to the car, and I'm actually getting the the turbulent air off the car, and I'm locked in. It's like, like coming around,
Shuddering
and-
across.
Dude, it looks so good, and like we just had a ton of fun. Like we were lucky enough to have like a pit that we knew all the people there, so they were like housing us, and they're like, do you need anything? And like it was like rum and coke if you needed it. Like, it was like
It was a good time.
it was a good time, and they were like DJing. Like it was.
I
it
think
was
they're
wild.
partying right now. I bet. I mean,
Dude,
it's,
remember we got home, and I see that they're going live, and it was dark, and they were DJing in their booth in their like pit, and they had lasers and lights and everything, and I'm like,
Oh,
dude,
that's awesome.
these people know how to party. So yeah, honestly, like what me and Phil were talking about on like the long drive home was like, dude, the next time we do this, one of us needs a GoPro 6. And we need to
Oh, for
get
that
a little bit of
slow-mo.
slow-mo
Oh,
because
yeah.
like if there was a quad like this, like honestly, if we had both of us or 3 of us up, the one quad behind it needs to be rocking like the 240 FPS, and you see a quad go through the smoke like in slow-mo and push all the freaking tire smoke as it punches out. Oh baby,
Oh, man.
that's
Epic.
yeah,
Epic.
that would just be beautiful.
That'd be awesome.
So
Yeah.
so we have plans for like next time, and after doing it all,
exactly.
they loved
We'll be
it.
starting a Kickstarter for the After Dark FPV.
Oh God, I
GoPro 6.
wish. I honestly never. I would love if that happens. I always feel too guilty if I do a Kickstarter without like a physical thing. Like I'm not actually bringing anything.
We'll find a
anymore.
way to get it.
Well, we
in.
had
We'll
a
find
hat
way.
out here one time, and people
We
were
made
giving
$2.
us tips.
That's true.
No,
That's
$5.
true.
$5.
Yeah.
So,
We did have a
Bring
tip
the hat
jar,
back out.
a
Bring
the
literal
hat.
tip
I love
jar.
that.
It was
You use
Yusuf.
it because people come up and see what's going
That's
on.
right.
Yeah, normally our Sunday nights are actually pretty popping, but I sent a couple texts out. Big Manny is in San Diego.
They're all doing that educational event.
That's right. They're in Loma Linda.
Loma Linda.
Yeah, they're doing it, which you would love. They're doing a science fair for children.
Let's talk about that.
And they're doing a drone.
Let's expand.
Yeah, a drone demonstration today.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it was actually near my parents' house, but I didn't realize that it was today until it was kind of late. Nusar was running it. He's a super nice guy. He's the one that organizes the micro drone races inside the warehouses.
Okay, cool.
He doesn't even fly. He does all the work, never flies, all that stuff. I think eventually Jake got together. We all pitched in a couple bucks and got him a micro drone to race and stuff. Bryce is literally whittling over there.
Bryce has a machete out right now, and he is whittling a stick. Bryce, what are you doing?
A cat steak.
We just look over to our left. We hear a bunch of knocking, and you got Bryce with a machete just making a steak for the cat to try it on. That's pretty smart, though. But it's just an awesome sight to see.
Did you guys make it to restock?
Restock? Restock food and stuff like that? No, we have not done that yet. Okay. Well, you said it was 24 hours,
Winco
right?
24 hours.
Well, there we go. That's where we're going next. I might bring my tiny whip out to that.
Oh, yeah. It's awesome. You could probably actually get away with flying inside a Winco late at night.
My goal has been to get one of those electric scooters in a 24/7 Walmart. And someone pushes me around in the cart, and I'll have my goggles on, and I'm just gonna rip around while driving the cart.
Yes.
I think that would just be a great.
My roommate Jake has done that. Well, he's done the drunk driving around.
The drunk without the FPV style.
He was drunk and he had one of those electric carts. He was like, and I was like, Jake, stop! You're gonna get us kicked out.
All right. So I've had this idea actually, where it's like a supermarket shop or supermarket spree, where you have two pairs of people.
Yep.
One person inside the cart, goggles on. One person pushing the cart. The person with the whoop that's flying around has to search out and find search objects, scavenger item list. And then they're both go. They have to find the item. The whoop guy has to lead the other guy. And
I've actually talked to Jesse about doing this.
Oh, no way.
Send us an invite. We'll be there.
I've talked to Jesse from Tiny Whip about doing that. An awesome game for Tiny Whip would be a grocery list. You just put a list together. It's like you got to find it in the aisles. Figure it out.
Rice-A-Roni, go.
Yeah, Rice-A-Roni, go. It's just like,
because it's this weird cross section. Because I actually got the idea from watching the Rotor Riot Tommy video where he's in a drift car. And he's riding along and he's chasing the drift car, but it's like, well, this is just like a miniature scale where the Whoop pilot's kind of riding along and the Whoop pilot's chasing along and doing that stuff where it's just miniature scale inside of a supermarket.
I think I saw one in a supermarket, but they were just running into shit the whole time.
Yeah.
But they were full-size quads, right?
Full-size quads.
Full-size quads. Yeah, that'd be
I saw
too
that
gnarly.
One where someone let them go.
That would be
full-size
scary.
quad.
Dude, you'd be
maybe at Costco. You could tear
maybe
up
at Costco, yeah, but dude, a regular grocery
dive
store.
at Costco inside. Dive into the tire alley, bro. Woo!
Yeah, meet you in the tire alley. Yeah.
Going over the Pampers. Yeah.
I don't know about you guys can meet me at the Rotisserie Chicken. So.
I don't know about all of you.
Oh man.
But yeah, I think that's what's so fun about Tiny Whips, that you can bring them out anywhere, just like we did at the mission. I mean, at first it's oh, are people gonna kick us? We'll fly here because people might kick us out, and then the security ended up coming up and watching the lunchbox.
Yeah.
I mean, wait, is this what you're seeing? And then all the guests on that floor started walking up to see us and watching the lunchbox, watching the screen. I mean, so this is what they're seeing, huh? This is pretty badass.
Yep.
And they were just not at all scared or anything. I think drones are starting to come around now. I think quads
so too.
and drones.
They just look like little June bugs, little fireflies.
Yeah, those are such toy-looking that it's not scary.
Oh, it's a toy helicopter. They don't even think drone or a quadcopter or something that could spy or hunt you, or you know what I mean. They just immediately go, oh, it's a little toy.
Mm-hmm. As soon as they know you're not spying on them, they're okay.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Every park I've gone to, there's always some person that comes up to me and they're like, who are you spying on? I'm like, here, take a look. And then they're like, oh, okay.
Yeah. I'm going
How do I get
80,
one of these? How do I get one of these?
I'm going 60, 80 miles an hour. I'm definitely not spying on you.
Yeah.
My drone at hover looks at the sky. That's my camera
exactly.
angle. I'm looking at the clouds when I'm trying to hover. So there's no way I'm spying on you unless I'm coming through your window.
Yeah, at 80.
At 80 and hitting your wall. It's not happening.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we've got an event out in the Loma Linda area. It was, I think it just went down today.
Yep.
I think it was a little bit of a they had a little bit of a course set out. It was a little bit of a drone demonstration, air show. They're kind of teaching kids, giving kids ride-alongs.
Yep.
And
Jason's alley.
really, I think it was really kind of exactly kind of what Jason talked about earlier. He was on the Deadband podcast, talked about a lot of the introductory things about not just being quad pilots, but more about being like quad ambassadors, and really kind of pushing as far as like a sense of curiosity and a sense of wanting to learn more about building not just quads, but learning more about science,
building
and things like that, and
just
realizing that it's all about really of a fun stuff. And I think let's talk a little bit about, I think, whether we want to or not, I think all of us have had a situation where we're introducing quads to a new person. Like we're at a park flying, and someone is seeing this quadcopter flying around for the first time, and they just don't know what the hell it is. And at that point, whether you want to or not, we're pretty much ambassadors for whatever this hobby, this sport, or whatever it is. I mean, I think that's kind of like the fantastic opportunity to really kind of twist it on its head and not really just think about as far as terms of like, oh yeah, this is just a fun thing to tech out and geek out on, but really see it as like a pivoting point where it's like, well, I've learned these sort of things through quadcopters. You know, I've learned how to be a bit more patient, learning how to build and learning how to let go of fried components and things like that.
Different technologies that most people have never even heard of. So like all the technologies you have to learn, whether it's well, like a lot of people who are not computer people now become that because they have to use beta flight or clean flight or butter flight or race flight or whatever
it is.
It's
like a requirement.
You have to learn it. You have no choice. And then from there you start learning that there's some wires that just do data and some that do charging, and you learn that really quick on your quad.
Tokyo FPV, let's shout him out. I think he's figured that out by now. He's tried 8 different USB cords and
what I think
if you're listening to
stop
this,
buying them from gas stations. They don't work for your quad.
That was straight to the heart, wasn't it, Phil? You know what I'm talking about.
We've all done it. I mean, like my flight controller's dead. It's like, change the wire, bro.
Yeah,
it's fine. The lights come on. That means like your wire's not working. But I think at the end of the day, what really separates us from quads and drones from the general RC, whether you come from RC or not joining the quadcopters, is the fact that they're going to be used industrial commercial ways, right? I think that's like what's so interesting about them. As much as we use them as entertainment factor, now they're a sport. Like DRL is on ESPN. There's multiple racing leagues around the world. They're on all the sports stations. In Korea, they're bringing it into the Olympics already. Dude, I saw that.
What?
Min
Chan. We gotta get on that game.
Min Chan was carrying the Olympic torch in Korea. So, and he's one of the best drone pilots. So that's like, and there's a whole bunch of like the Korea. He's a faraway cousin, like 17th.
You're probably cousins to him somehow.
So I think that's what really brings this out to be so interesting. When people see them, it's not just about bringing your kids into something, just for fun. It's also a huge educational factor. And I think we're talking about the whole like VR, like reality and non-reality mixture. So like, you sit in your house and you're fixing it. You're playing the simulators to learn. So you're gaming. But then you're also learning all these tools, and like you're learning how to use tools to start with, like soldering irons and screwdrivers you've never seen before, all these different stuff. So you're learning all these different tools. Then you're learning programming as well, because your flight controller will have issues at one point. You're gonna have to learn to use the CLI and all that stuff. So you're learning all those skills.
I feel so cool when I type in shit in the CLI.
And you see it all pop up. It's like, it's like the DOS screen comes up. You're like, hey, look at that! I'm a hacker.
I used to play video games with DOS. I'm just gonna say I'm not that old, but I remember having to,
I remember the DOS ones when I was a kid,
I used to have to go into certain ways, and you have to open it up.
Lemmings on DOS was the shit.
Yep.
Just saying, those floppy disks were the shit.
Yep.
The 32 like Doom 2 disc where you're just
the Doom was good. Yep.
I got Doom on my iPad.
Get out of here with that.
The original one. This is the best. This is the best game. There's like only 4 places you could shoot on the screen.
You guys
want
to watch Bryce hammer a steak with a fire extinguisher?
So we're now looking after Bryce macheted steak together. He took out a fire extinguisher and started hammering into the ground. That's amazing.
Ladies, lock up your loins.
I do have a
We got a real man walking through.
Yeah, that's just
Bryce Darling.
Bryce Darling. He's got it over his shoulder and everything.
But it's true. I mean, like a lot of times, these things will just awaken something, you know? I mean, you just see something really, really cool, and then it'll just take you on a path where you want to learn more about programming. Maybe you didn't know you had a secret desire to learn programming or chips or mechanical design or whatever it is. And sometimes it's just this opportunity where it's just they see these things and it's
it really gets you involved. And what I've seen kids, what's really cool with the kids, because I work with the Canadian cadets, and I teach them like robotics and like how to build a drone, how to fix a drone.
Is that like the Boy Scouts of Canada?
It's like the boys. We have the Boy Scouts as well. The cadets.
I don't know what that is.
So the cadets is for the air. So the cadets is everything like with astronomy or flying a plane or planning a plane.
Cool.
So when you're in the cadets, you actually get your UAV license by the end.
I thought it was the one where you teach.
So it's
I was just in the Boy Scouts.
So almost like what's really awesome about all the older cadets I've met is that they actually have licenses to fly drones legally anywhere they want, as long as they call in the flight tower because they have a license to do that. So the cadets is like to get kids involved into like anything to do with like being in the sky, whether it's a plane, astronomy, space. I've seen like kids like actually like fix problems on like NASA space stations from the cadets, which is really crazy. Like 12-year-olds figuring this stuff out.
Oh, that's cool.
I think when you introduce people really young, they grasp it quick.
They hit real hard.
You just know.
And what they see is like they see the sports side, which is really cool because they see the racing, which gets them like really involved and interested. And then in the long term, it's like convincing their parents at the same time that this is a future job.
Yes.
So like as much as like they see the racing and they want to get into that, then they see that like as a future job, they're like, this is a commercial job. Eventually I could be a drone operator because that is something that we all know is coming. Amazon is on it, DHL is on it, every big company is on top of this. Google has already started with it. So and some countries are actually doing it already. So I mean, it's just a matter of time before we're going to need all the service, department for all these drones, all the programmers, developers, flyers, coordinators, whatever it is. We're going to need all of that. So and then what's so interesting with the kids too is that you have the kids that you automatically see it separate in the group. There's some kids who really like to fix the drones. And there's some kids who like to fly the drones, just like you were talking about before, where there's someone who likes to organize the events.
You see their natural habits.
Even though like he doesn't fly drones at the events, he wants to organize the events because he loves setting up the track. He likes seeing like the reaction of everybody on his track that he developed. And I think that's a big part of it too. So it creates so many of these different opportunities to get into
members. They're all team members, There's one guy that's good at this thing, there's one guy that's good at that thing, and
so
they come together.
It's almost like naturally developing itself. So I think that's what kind of separates the drones from like general RC. Because I mean, I was into like RC cars and like helicopters and stuff like that, but not like super into it. And when drones came out, it kind of got me back into everything again. And maybe not just like quadcopters and drones, but FPV. I think that was like what really got me back.
That's what blew my mind too.
So like I got like a drone with FPV, and then I was like, wait, I could put this on an RC car, and I could put this on a plane, and then it threw me back into hobby shops again. I was like, okay, I'm buying foam planes again, and I'm putting FPV on this. And
I have the same story because I was in RC forever when I was a kid. I used to race, did all that.
Nick was hard.
I just got out of it.
Sponsored pro.
Nick was pro.
Then I saw some videos, some dudes flying through the woods, and I was like, I gotta try this. And then when it was cheap enough for me to do it, I bought a setup.
But Nick was the man that was he was the hopping up old school stuff and killing the whole everybody else out there, and then they would come up to him like, dude, what did you do? How did you do this?
I just buy old kits, put them together, race with it. They're like, where'd you get this? And I'm like, you can't find this anymore. And I just sell it.
This is old school stuff.
Old school.
This is old school technology going on right now.
But Nick would be able to make it kick ass. So.
Oh yeah, I mean, if you know what you're doing, you get a flight controller to work well. You can get anything to work well, right, on that stuff. So.
It's true.
Definitely.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's what's coming out now is the drones are even easier to tune because of like the new softwares. But technically, the old stuff, if you just did it properly, it would work very well.
Yeah.
I know. It's all like we're all splitting hairs now at this point.
We're
It's
splitting hairs now. Yeah. We got butterfly, we got beta flight, we got clean flight, race
I'm on
flight.
that butter.
Yeah. Get out of here.
Yeah, we got Platinum over here. Is a huge Kiss fan.
Yeah, Platinum, you run Kiss?
A lot of guys on
Kiss is the only thing that's ever worked for me. Everything else I try, I can't build quads.
So what's not working for you right now?
Everything.
Yeah, you want to?
Well, he's jumped. Let's interrupt.
I'm trying to make you say something.
He's jumped into the 4-in-1 ESC game, which we all know is a tricky game.
Yes.
I've jumped into that, and Yeah.
There's
What's your
one thing
experience
with
now?
a tricky game, but then there's another thing when you have 6 all-in-one ESCs and they
Yeah.
all don't
You
work.
want to give us a shout out for a company name?
Kiss. Kiss Racing. Shout out to Kiss Racing.
Yeah? Didn't work, huh?
No, Kiss works.
Oh, okay.
Everything else, I'm not going to drop names. One for sure was just, it was like a demo board, which was given to me for free, and I'm getting it replaced.
Yeah.
It's like, but other than that, Kiss seems to be the
We
only
can
thing
mute
that's
it out
working.
if
It's
you'd
really
like.
easy for me because like I came in as I'm really new.
Yeah.
So like Rotor Riot fanboy over here. All I
Yeah.
got to do is
Oh, we got a
YouTube
buddy
it,
like
and then
you
I have
here.
a build
He'll be
video ready to go.
Everyone
Yeah.
has a
And now
buddy.
I have
Who's that
3
buddy?
running aliens in 10 minutes.
Yeah. Yeah. So. Well, now you learned, right? Now you know better.
I'm still learning. I
Okay.
will
Oh,
yeah,
always
you're
be
always-
learning.
Oh,
in
you always-
FPV.
yeah.
That's
You
the
never
cool
stop
quads, You're
learning.
always learning, right?
There's always
That's
something
true.
new.
Yeah, I'm still learning
Yeah.
I can-
what like UARTs are, what TX, what
Oh,
RX. Like, I don't know any
There's
of
gonna be
that,
some
right?
good
Like,
stuff.
he's
It's gonna
new.
blow your mind, man.
Yeah,
It's coming.
it's a little frustrating, but I'm enjoying
is.
when it
but
it
once
works.
once it works, yes,
Yeah.
it's nice. Yeah, I think I'm pretty close to being like 80% of what else is out there. There's no way you can get 100%, but 80%.
Yeah,
You
you
are
I'm
can
still
understand
waiting for that
80% of
one
it.
board where I can buy it
Yes.
and stack it together, all in one ESC, PDB, and
Oh,
flight controller. Stack
yeah.
it together, and it works. When that happens, oh my god,
There
am
is.
I going to be
Dude,
one happy
It will
camper?
happen
is.
eventually,
I've
but
got this ZMR PDB for you, man. It's the whole length.
it's got a buzzer pre-installed on
the
it.
buzzer already. It's
We were talking
luxurious.
about
It's
that
got
one,
landing
Phil.
pads installed
Yeah.
into it. You know, those are just the best ones you can
Plenty
get.
of room on there.
I think the growing pains when you get into this, what anyone who gets into like flying quadcopters will get into, is that you're gonna find what you like and then you're gonna stick to it eventually because you just that's what you know and it's what you want to fly and it's what you're comfortable with.
Yeah.
For someone like myself, I bounce around between like every single type of board. I like to test everything. And I can just tell you, it's a common thing that you'll get a board that just doesn't
Just
work,
randomly
or you'll get a
doesn't work.
PDB that just doesn't turn on, or you'll
Yeah.
get an ESC that just does funky things. You get a motor that the bearings grind. I mean, these things are made in mass quantity, and the quality control on them is, I've seen it in person. It's very minimal. So
Yeah, you
I-
literally
I
have.
would. Yeah, I've literally seen it, and I would say what the biggest issue in the industry is a lot of people developing this stuff because it's coming from like technologies like security cameras and obviously motors that we're using are like machine motors that they were using in smaller applications before.
Yeah.
It's all coming from a different industry, so the people developing it actually are not quadcopter flyers. They're
No.
actually engineers. So they're trying to develop stuff by, what people are asking for, what people are seeing. They're trying to develop the hype train, I guess, is a big thing
Yeah.
going on.
But
So-
all they got is like a spec sheet, and they have no idea where the
So
numbers
for
are
years
coming
it's been
from,
that,
and-
right? Just
yeah.
combining random
This
parts that you
engineer's
could
reading
find. And
buttery. I don't know what buttery setting is that.
Buttery setting.
I know that there's 20 windings, but I don't know what this buttery is. What is this hype here? Yeah.
What's the hype, right?
Yeah, I can't insert this hype.
It's got to be super confusing for like a newbie though. If you come in and you got like a ready to fly beta
Yeah.
flight, and then you plug it into the computer, and then you see something like turtle mode. Like, what is turtle mode? If you
Yeah.
didn't fly drones and you saw that, you'd be like, what is that? Now they got like the VTX on and off. Like, what's a VTX? I remember like just like a few months ago, 6 months ago, I'm like Googling and researching, writing down VTX equals video transmitter.
Oh, nice. That's
Like,
good. You're doing your homework.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's
you
it.
don't
The
know when you
notebook. The
get into
notebook.
it.
No, the
Everyone
notebook
had a
is- yeah.
notebook, right? Let's all
Yeah.
let's all take our
Yeah.
shame away, and we've
Yeah.
all had notebooks, right?
Yeah. Yeah,
I
you
used to
that
write
stuff
down my PIDs.
I usually used to measure the length of my wires and like note that
Write
down
the
in a
notes?
notebook. And when I'd do another build, because it would always be the same frame, I would just like lengthen the same wire and cut them. Like I just thought it all had to
OCD
be.
Jason
I was
right
OCD.
here.
Yeah, that was OCD Jason.
I would do that, but they would be short every single time. I don't know.
Phil, you
What
got
they
a
do,
hold
they-
of,
what
got
they
a hold of
extend-
some Coors Light before you
Yeah,
got
that's
his
what-
wires to hit or something.
Oh, looks good.
You got way too many beer koozies at your house, Phil. I'm just gonna say that.
One of those 4 a.m. builds.
They're all 4 a.m. bills, let's be honest.
I swear I put the wire on the right side.
Yeah.
Well, it's worse is when you try to be fancy and it's like, well, I don't have enough red wires, so I'm just going to use 2 black wires. Just remember, and then...
The next time you crash and the wire pulls out, you're like, oh, this is my ground that pulled
Yes,
out. And you
ground.
go re-shoulder to a ground, you're like, no, that was not my ground.
Magic smoke. Rough.
Yeah,
Dude.
that definitely happens a lot.
I know. Well, I mean, dude, what's been going on as far as, like... So, Nick, you've just rebuilt your floss, right? Your
Yep,
racing
got the floss back together.
So it's like props on?
our last pack last week
Yeah,
ended
yeah,
badly.
yeah.
It
Wait,
took out Took out both front and back arms, and they got the
Where's your
boomerang
floss at
arms.
right now? Oh, it's up there.
But so we were flying around on this last pack. We just kind of low cruise, and we just stick a GoPro to butt and just get some really cool footage, But this time we was like, all right, let's up the angle, let's just fly fast. And it was fun flying fast, but I think just on one of those last turns, he had a little scuff up on concrete.
Yeah.
Concrete.
I'll show you a video.
So how much money have you spent on arms?
Okay, so
Is that a hot topic? I'm sorry.
well, I went to
Let's
go
just
buy
beat this
more
part out.
arms,
All
and
wives
it didn't
are
work out
listening.
that
Wives
well
and
because they
significant
were
others. Please close your ears.
out of 5-inch arms. So I went 5.5 inch. Thought
So
I
you
went
spent
5
more
mil.
money.
So a little thicker,
So it's a little bit better.
a little bit better, hopefully.
Oh,
Find out.
I see what you did there. I
Do
see
you
that.
race?
We are tonight.
Trust me, here's what happens. We do this like fun flying, and we go, oh, we'll just go out and cruise. We'll get some shots of each other's quads going up and down the road here. And then Nick goes, zzz, zzz, zzz. And then I'll go, what are you trying to do? You trying to beat me? And then I go a little bit, and then all of a sudden he's like,
I'm ahead
freaking
of you,
85
dude.
degrees, like, and I'm like, oh, I'm not gonna let this happen. And then there's some footage. Unfortunately, my SD card went bad last time of the footage of you like literally going in front of me, like on every corner. Like I'd come to a corner and you're like, whoa, whoa, whoa. But,
I just had
yeah.
DVR. It actually looks pretty good.
DVR?
Yeah.
Okay.
But no, I nailed this speed bump out here.
Yeah,
Coming
we
down,
get low.
It flipped upside down, and then it nailed that light pole over there. That's what stopped it.
You got one
So-
of those projectile tosses off of it.
Oh,
it was,
yeah.
it was
Then
pretty
they try to
rough.
full throw
Everyone just got quiet. They're like, ooh.
Oh, that's a broken arm.
Yeah.
You know when it's a broken arm. You know when you break something. You hear just like that dung. And you're like,
Yeah.
oh.
Damn near every crash with a floss is a broken arm.
It's
Yeah.
called design breakpoint. That's what it is. It's,
Yeah. So yeah, and
Yeah, we have a bunch of guys on Team Cam with floss frames. And yeah, definitely a great race. It's a great racing frame.
Oh, it's a great
for
racing
sure.
frame. Yeah, for sure.
Well, that's what we were trying to do.
Well,
Well, that's what we're trying to do.
well, Nick for a while went through like, God, I want to say like 3 flow rides or something.
Oh, fucking
They're
flow
supposed to
ride.
be super strong,
No,
but Nick's
those-
been breaking them.
No, those arms break and the bottom plate breaks.
He's been breaking bottom plates.
Yeah.
So
You know what I've realized though with most frames, they can be very durable, but there's not much that protects you from cement and metal though.
concrete is a
Like
killer.
concrete.
Well,
So, no. I
So-
take that back. That GEPRC leopard frame,
dude, the
Oh,
Gep
yeah.
RC.
Okay,
you
okay.
can't kill that.
See, here's one
Fly
thing.
this fucker on the concrete.
Here's one thing I want to say is like a secret. I think bottom mounts are a lot better for concrete.
Yeah.
Just because they're squishing the battery instead of an arm. Because like when you come down with the top mount, you've
Yeah.
got the heavy battery on top, and then you've just got this
that angle smacking
cantilever
arm.
where
Yeah.
it's just
Yeah,
a
all the
lot
weight- all
of
the weight
pressure right
shifts,
there on
yeah.
the arm. Whereas with the bottom mount, even if you're landing on the arm, you get this sort of rattling thing going on here where it's not
You squish a battery.
not a,
Yeah.
not,
Yeah,
not,
if anything, you might dent
not
the
as
battery.
much pressure on
The
the
con with
arms.
the bottom batteries though is when you hit, you're gonna tumble. Like there's no
Yeah.
way around it. 'Cause
You're
you're
gonna
gonna
cartwheel.
hit the
Yeah.
battery and it's
Yeah.
either gonna
True.
eject or it's gonna keep it, and you're gonna go right
Yeah.
ass over tea kettle.
Yeah,
Like, there's no.
Yeah.
We all
I've
run
re-
top
I've
mounts
read a
here because
couple.
we're skidding on the ground constantly. Like
I know I already did it.
Isn't it fun though? Like,
It's a little scary because my GoPro mount is on with a battery strap.
oh no.
But I got the footage and the GoPro stayed on, so yeah, it was
There you
pretty
go.
sweet.
Yeah.
But
There you go.
this is the place where you'd want 3D skid prints,
Yeah.
so you could just like rip along the ground and just throw a quickie
Our
off.
little,
and
our
then
little
lift off
foamy
again.
ones that we use work pretty good too.
Foamy ones rip off though, like
Yeah.
really
No,
quick.
well, yeah,
you
they
have
do.
you already told me you have a pack of 1,000. So
Yeah.
you don't have to worry
But
about
they work though.
I do need some of those tonight.
that.
Okay. I'm gonna have to go to the house.
Nah, we're good.
Okay.
These guys are so fancy. I'm over here with my lighter and a stick of hot glue.
He wouldn't even use the hot glue gun when we offered it.
He's like, I got a lighter.
Lighter
We're
is
good.
faster.
Take the whole stick of hot
Yeah,
glue,
yeah,
shove it
yeah.
on the front, tape it on.
No,
Exactly.
he literally did
Bumper.
that.
Bumper,
Looked over
bud.
there.
That's
He
a
looked-
bumper,
He had like a
bud.
There you
spoon
go.
with a lighter, and he was like trying to make
I'll
some.
tell you
fun.
right now, his skid plates are a lot better than mine. All I did was buy a buttload of screws,
Yeah.
grind them off until you can't take them, and then you just
The
unscrew 'em.
screws.
Oh yeah, look. You ever seen the alien, bud?
All right, bud.
See all those screws right there, buddy?
okay.
You replace
okay,
those. Those
okay,
are skid
yeah,
plates.
Oh.
The skid screws.
Damn.
The,
You should
alien,
put
the hardware
titanium.
kit of the alien
You'll
is
get
worth
sparks.
more than the frame.
Yeah,
See
right?
that? There's like 1,000 of them in there.
Jeez Louise,
Imagine trying to have to do
man.
that frame apart.
Want to see me skid that thing?
Jeez,
That's
Impulse
basically, that's
RC
basically
right
like
here.
a
or what?
ZMR just like
I want to go
remade.
back.
It is. That's when you need
Pretty
the
close.
gun.
There's like,
but I
oh,
need
take
a
the
good
bottom plate
PVD
out.
to put on it.
But we'll
Oh,
keep the
okay.
same amount of screws.
It'll just be 5
We
minutes
gotta
later.
be careful talking
Still
over each other.
unscrewing.
Got you. Yeah. Well, anyways, what do we have?
I don't know. What are we gonna do as far as like flying tonight? Huh?
Yeah.
Any
What
special
are we gonna?
stuff?
Yeah, we're gonna do probably just cruise together. Let's just cruise.
I got
and
my
get some
electric
footage.
skateboard, so we're gonna do a fall with
Yeah,
that.
let's
do
do
that.
That'd be cool.
You can get your Traxxas truck out.
I gotta charge a pack. Actually, I have a.
You should be charging right now.
There's an inverter in the RV.
There's-
Yeah, I'll go charge.
But one thing
Go
thing
charge
about
that.
trucks though is that they just tend to die in less than an hour out here.
And I also have to
People
set my
like
battery
go
up.
fast and they hit a curb,
Probably isn't
and
the best.
it kills the cars. So
Go start it.
That's the whole fun of it. You gotta let them do it. You gotta let them do it.
I already volunteered. I'll go on the skateboard.
I'll go on the
I
skateboard.
already flew a bunch of
I've
your
been,
batteries.
I've been aching to get on that thing for a while.
Yeah,
now,
I
so
bet you have.
haven't ridden it since before Christmas.
dude,
Oh,
nice.
dude, you need to ride
Oh,
it
I need
then.
to ride it.
It's
tonight.
time.
Zip it out. You got a helmet, maybe?
No.
Did you guys
Okay.
hear about the story
I'll be
when
alright.
I first got on it? So he brought out this electric
4
skateboard.
in
He's
the
like,
morning.
oh man, this is sweet. We had a couple Twisted Teas at this
Oh
time.
yeah,
4,
you were a
5,
little lit
16.
on those twisted tees.
So I was feeling really confident.
Sponsorship.
So he like hands me the controller. He's like, all right, 1 is not very fun, like you said before, like you can hop off it. 2 is normally like the cruising speed where people are comfortable. Me being a speed freak, where I'm just let's go, buddy. He's like, he puts me on 3, and he's like, just stay on 3, like that's more than enough. And then I did it. I was like, that's fun. And then I come back, and he's like, look, 4 is very dangerous. I broke my rib. I'm not going to recommend trying it, but this is how you get to speed 4. And he set the control of the speed 4 for me, and then he just handed it to me. I was like, all right, see you, buddy. And then I ended up ripping. I'm going halfway down my street, and I'm like, oh, time to slow down. Go to let go, and the trigger was stuck in the plastic. So I just let go, and I'm just hauling ass, like, what is it,
And it
40
won't stop. It
kilometers
keeps
or
getting
40
faster and
miles?
faster.
Like,
Oh
thing's fast, man. I let go of the trigger, and I'm just ripping down the street like, oh my God. It was terrifying, man.
This is some.
How many ribs did you break?
None, man. Told you, I'm a speed freak. I know how to roll out of things.
Oh, you rolled out of it? Was this
No,
a-
I didn't fall. I got lucky.
Okay.
Oh,
I'll
man.
try it again tonight.
You can,
maybe.
you can roll
I'll
out
try
of, you,
again.
can roll, you can try to roll out of things at 50 kilometers an hour. It's really hard. Though.
It's not a roll.
On
It's
pavement.
more like a
On
ragdoll.
pavement at
But
50 kilometers an hour, it's like you're getting hurt a little bit.
you might
Yeah.
rip your jeans, buddy.
Oh,
But
yeah. You're gonna roll. You're gonna hurt some shit.
yeah, you just gotta know how to ragdoll properly.
Yeah, don't.
Just
yeah.
let loose. Like that night would have been the perfect time because like
Oh, yeah.
14
I mean, you're
T's
already-
deep.
Yeah, you're already loose.
14 T's deep.
Yeah.
14
Sorry,
T's
man.
deep.
Sorry, man.
Sorry,
I
man.
tumbled your board. Eh?
I'm
I hope
sorry,
it's
man.
all right.
I've been hanging out with these guys. And I'm like, oh, I'm so sorry.
Oh, I'm
so
sorry.
sorry.
Wait, are you from Canada?
Nope, I'm just sorry about
Team
it.
Canada?
Yeah, I guess so. I'm team
Hell
anything.
yeah.
Honestly, like
Right on.
we didn't even go over how we met. I literally was walking around the pits. I had time to kill because the group I was there with, we were celebrating a party, and I saw Serge from
Pure flip.
Pure Flip, and I was like, hey, dude. And he's like, hey, back to race mode. And I was like, oh, okay. And then I saw Jason, and I was like, hey, guys. And they were like, come hang out with us. And they were like, well, our racing's already over. Our shit's done. We're 6th place. Let's go drink beer. And it was like, yeah. And I was like, I like
Right
these
way to
guys.
do
And sure enough, they're like, come chill in my pit. Come hang out. And then I was like, I like you. Yeah.
I'll tell you right now, Team Canada may have lost a race, but we were number 1 in fun.
Oh, dude. No, for sure number 1 in fun. Like, grand prize.
That's what really matters.
Yeah. No, you guys took the cake. Like, you guys
Yeah.
are
No,
super cool.
nobody has fun like Team Canada at a track.
No. You know who I'm missing out in? What's his name? Who's the other guy that is he-
Ryan, Australian.
Ryan, Australian
Yeah,
guy.
nailed
That
it.
guy seems like a pretty chill dude. I only
Oh,
got to
he-
hang out with that one night, but me and him,
Oh,
like,
he's awesome.
I thought he'd be a cool dude to hang out with. I was
Oh,
kind of
he's
bummed that
awesome.
he wasn't like on the tour with you guys. He would have had so much fun, I think.
I know. I would love for him to be on the tour.
Yeah.
Honestly.
So
Ryan's
shout
team
out to Ryan
captain.
then.
Yeah, he's our captain.
He's captain of Team Canada.
Oh, yeah, he
so
is.
he's the guy that like if you just crash out of a race, he'll come up to you, pat you on the back, and be like, "Come on, man! Like you got this!" Like he motivates
Oh, good.
you.
Good.
Like he's just the nicest guy, man. Like he's
He
like
seems super
everybody
nice.
gets along with Ryan. I've never met somebody that's just like, "Who's that Australian guy on Team Canada?"
So
it's like,
he
"Who's
lives-
that
he lives in
Australian
Canada
guy on
then?
Team Canada?"
Yeah,
He's from Australia?
Yeah, he's
Yeah?
from Australia, and he met a Quebecoise, and he got stuck in Canada, so he married out in,
Oh,
in
wow.
Canada. And he's been living in Canada for a little bit now.
Wow. That's a big
Nice.
change from
Yeah.
Australia to Canada.
Oh yeah, the weather change is
Yes.
definitely a little bit crazy
Yeah.
for him. When we go out in the winter to fly, he's like wearing like a huge snowsuit. Like he's the most prepared guy for winter. Trust me. He just has like heated gloves, like heated like transmitter glove, like with a battery on it. Like he is ready for winter. He's definitely not a guy who gets cold in the winter. That's for sure, because he does not like it.
We have a thermometer here, and when we know it gets really cold, Nick goes from shorts to pants. That's when you know it gets cold. That's our thermometer. But he normally will wear shorts up until about 50 degrees, and then anything under 50, 48, it's pants.
Pants.
All day. For us is nothing, because that's about like 15
Spring,
degrees.
bud.
So no, 15 degrees. That's like a good summer day with a breeze. That's like, let's go and hit the beach, buddy. Let's go.
You're Tennessee. I'm telling you, Nick, man, you've been missing hanging out with these guys. I'm sorry, you would have had so much fun.
I had Phil dying when we were walking back from what restaurant?
Give it all the onions.
Give her all the onions, bud. Sometimes
even when I heard that, I'm like, man, you're way more Canadian than I am. Like, you live out in the bushes, eh, bud?
You're in the bushes.
Sometimes people, like even Bryce, like we've been living with him for like 2 weeks now, and like today I said something to him, and he's like, "What did you just say?" And I was like, "Oh, how's it going, buddy? Get her all done there, eh?" He's just like, "What? How's it going, buddy? Get her all done?" He just doesn't understand.
So Bryce has changed to shoe mode.
So you got.
Oh, Nick, did you actually have a hammer in your car?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I did.
You have a hammer in your car?
Yeah.
If you did that, it'd probably say Bryce.
He's changed out. He's changed out the fire extinguisher. Now he's got a really big shoe.
He's got a Steely, boys.
He's got a Steely, boys.
Yeah, I think it.
Solid metal toes.
You were thinking too about a boot. No, I think Nick's got you covered here.
Exactly.
There you go.
There you go. So we got a hammer out for you. There you go.
Nick.
Go get those vampires, buddy. Go get those vampires.
Bryce, we were waiting for you to use a fire extinguisher, a boot, a flip flop, and maybe like I don't know something else until you could use the hammer.
I'm gonna say it one more time. A boot what? What's
a boot?
Yeah, we should just wait.
What a boot?
What's everybody talking about? I don't understand.
What is this boot?
A boot what? Everybody keeps talking about it, but a boot what?
We might need to do subtitles.
All right, well, I think let's go and fly some packs, have some fun.
Yeah, let's rip some packs.
Yeah. Before we close up, let's go ahead and where can everybody reach your Lunchbox?
Yeah.
So pretty much Lunchbox FPV on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, website. Pretty much Lunchbox FPV. You just hit that up.
Just Google Lunchbox
That is where
FPV.
you can find me. I'm pretty social, so I'll be around. You'll
That's
find
right.
me.
He is on
I've seen you on Instagram before.
So did I. That's how I met him.
Facebook.
And was the nicest guy ever. So.
Exactly. He live streams very regularly, so you can always catch a live stream. I think he's doing it. He's doing it every single day now. I think.
Yeah,
almost every day. Yeah, try my best. Whenever we have something fun to do with drones, we definitely get a live stream going. So yeah. I think we should do some live streaming tonight of us flying. I'll get a Lunchbox out. We'll get a live stream going of that. That'd be pretty sweet.
Right. Yeah. We got some more followers today.
Yeah.
I think we're up to something.
I'll tag the After Dark FPV in the live stream. You know, follow these guys. You know, get that going.
Yes.
Get some follows down the street.
Help would be good. I mean,
that'd be awesome, guys.
It'd be fun stuff.
I thank you guys so much for having me. It's been so awesome this week. Not just on the show, but just in general in your hood. You know. Just getting to chill with the locals is what we're all about. So getting to fly the local flying spots and
Rep the set, eh?
And even tomorrow we'll run on to your flight.
That's it. You come on over to us tomorrow. We'll go fly with Anu.
Tomorrow maybe I might meet them down there and fly.
Bring your mouse, bro.
Oh
yeah, bring your mouse.
I'll bring the mouse, and I'll be like, yeah, you want that good shit?
Flips it up. It's on.
Yeah.
Behind the dumpster.
It's got new batteries in it.
Charge it all night.
New batteries, but I put in some serious work.
You put on hours on that thing.
Oh, you don't even know. I got a sick
edit. Hands all over it.
Yeah, I bet.
I was eating Cheetos, playing with your mouse.
Fuck.
Oh yeah, buddy.
Damn greasy fingers on my mouse. It was honestly, I freaking saw Platinum use a laptop doing editing with the trackpad.
Oh, that's painful.
And I was like, no, you were good at it, but honestly, I was.
Jesus.
Did you get that in Vegas? The zombie store, right? No?
Walmart, kind of zombie store.
You guys kind of
they got everything you need if a zombie's ever attacked.
There's a zombie store.
That's about
If you guys
12
go
inches
back
long.
up to 15 through Vegas, there's a zombie store there.
yeah, they got
Oh,
the
they have-
zombie post-apocalyptic.
No,
Like
like
post-apocalyptic.
Yeah,
Supplies.
knives,
Well,
like
they got
crazy.
the zombie
like a full
package and all the
tack
gun
vest
ranges
and, like,
in Vegas.
the masks
Where it's
and
like
all
you can
this
shoot
stuff.
whatever you want.
Just have
Yeah.
burgers,
Give you the zombie
CCM
apocalypse
sticks and
package.
package.
That's what I got when I went fishing.
Full deal. That's
Oh yeah, they just give you every gun you can try to like zombie apocalypse deal.
Drop the gloves, go to the bar and go for a chili, bud. You don't need no gloves when you do that. Drop the gloves and hit the ice, buddy.
My favorite was Jason. It's his birthday, Jason. You get a porn. This is a 3-finger porn.
This is a 3-finger porn.
And I was like, Jason, that's not 3 fingers, man.
I do not condone flying on the
Yes,
If
of
you're feeling
course.
risky, drink some of my whiskey.
All right, Phil, why don't you wrap us?
I think that's a good way to end it.
Yes.
For Lunchbox FPV and for Team Canada, thanks for joining us here.
Yeah.
Thank
you, guys.
Good night. Sign off.
All right, for Robbie, it was nice having everyone. I really appreciate you guys. I'm always gonna miss you, and I'll be there for the wedding.
Yeah, hell yeah, buddy. Let's do this.
All right.
Thank you guys so much.
Peace out.